Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode with yours truly, BrogAutohaus. It's playing CarX Drift Racing 2 Mobile. Today is all about the Horizon GT4, the R34 Nissan Skyline GTR in real life. And we have a bunch of stuff. We got a top 32 battle that we're going to jump into right after this clip. And then, as usual, the last 5 minutes or so of the video will all be the tuning details on this car and what setup I'm running on it. So be sure to check those out. If you haven't, submit your drift clips for tomorrow's top drift clips video. You can email those. The email is in the description, as well as the Discord channel where you can submit clips as well. So both those are options. And as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't for future content. We'll jump on into it. All right, so I just finished my first qualifying runs here on the top 32 Silver DP with the Horizon GT4. I placed fourth place so far. I'm really close to third there, but then obviously you see the Blackjack X22s at 1 and 2, which I've exclaimed many a times. That car is an absolute cheater car. If you get the Blackjack X22, good for you, but it's really not fair for anybody else with a normal car. It's just bounds better than everything else. As you can see, they have, let's see, third place, and then looks like about another 1,400 DP over that. But I'm going to show you guys my qualifying run. I'm not super proud of it, but it happened to be the highest scoring one. It didn't seem to be my cleanest run in my opinion. Well, let's take a look at it here. So I'm going to shift up to third and then fourth, and then I flick it in. Here, as you can see, I'm shallow on that first zone and shallow on the second zone, but I guess since I kept the biggest angle, it scored the highest for some reason. Then I shift up to fifth and get these final three zones while keeping a wide angle on the outside here to go towards the finish. So again, not really a run I'm proud of, but that's what happened to take the cake. So we'll move on up to the top 16, since that's what it's going to be as soon as this minute 45 is up. All right, guys, so I guess not enough people qualified to make a top 16, so we jumped to a top 8. And the Siberia WDC I went up against, we had a great battle. As you just saw my qualifying run, so I'm going to show you his chase run on me and then my chase run on him. And we'll see what we think here. So he's going to follow me in, kind of initiate the same way as me. He had a very similar speed car to me on sport tires. You can see he's floating off in the smoke a little bit, but that's because I was running kind of shallow on those first couple lines. Did a good job chasing, definitely a lot of distance there. So I'm not sure how he got such a high point system, but good run overall from him. And then we're going to jump over. I'll show you the chase run here of mine on him. So I felt really good about this chase. There was a couple little spots here where I messed up, but we'll walk through it here real quick. So he did kind of a flick entry. Because I was a little bit slower, I just went for the basic straight so I could get right on his door. Good transition timing there. I'm trying to close the gap, but he was able to kind of maintain the same distance there. Another good transition. And here's where I fell off. I transitioned too late, so I dropped far back, leaving a huge gap in front of me into that final zone. So that was where I made a mistake, but nonetheless, at least I was able to get the victory there and move on. So unfortunately, I'm going to do my battle for third place right now, and then I'll jump back and show you the top 4. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you the top 4 battle I had against, again, my nemesis, the Blackjack X22. We're going to go ahead and watch his chase run on me first, and then we'll show you the chase run that I had on him. So let's see how he does here. I don't know if he's on. He is. He kept his semi-slicks on, so he's going to be doing a lot of brake checking. He's keeping his distance back for sure. Closing the door because he's on a grippier tire, so he can really, surge forward, handbrake. Obviously, it's really twitchy because he's trying to stay back behind. He should have probably just switched to a sport tire like most people would for a cleaner chase, but oh well. I mean, pretty good run there. It's unfortunate that prior to this, because of qualifying, he started out with a couple thousand more points than I did. You can see at the end here, he beat me by about that 2,000. So here's my chase run on him. I was surprised here with my semi-slicks. I was able to keep up with them pretty well. I flicked it in, got fairly close to them, trying to transition, perfect timing, because if I handbrake and fall back, it's going to be impossible to catch back up. So obviously I switched to a semi-slick for this chase run. I did pretty well until this final zone again. I got gapped coming out of that final turn, and that's what made the difference. If I could have gotten another 2,000 points there, obviously I probably would have done a little better. But the final here, Blackjack X22 versus me, another one for the third place battle. We can see his chase run here first. New version of the game is out. What the heck? Hopefully after this timer's up, we'll be able to see that. I'll check back in a second. All right, so this is Blackjack X22 chasing me down. This is the top 3, so third place battle. This guy had a huge angle tune on this X22. I'll show you guys when I'm chasing him. He left his semi-slicks on as well. Again, I don't know why these guys are doing that, putting themselves in I would guess, a hairier situation with trying to keep distance, but also keep angle. So you can tell he's handbraking a lot, he's checking up. But it looks pretty good. Overall, he's holding the angle. He's doing a great job in chase, especially on that outside zone at the end there. So really well done by him. And then I'll show you guys my chase run, but I unfortunately finished 4th place in this, which is only right, I guess. I mean, that's what I qualified, so qualification is a true teller of how you're gonna finish up. So he did this kind of big angle start, and then I was able to kind of get in the pocket a little bit. He had some huge angle. I was trying to match. I'm on semi-slicks as well. And then you can see as we transition here into the final zone, I start to lose him a little bit. He hits the dirt, so he angles way up and slows down, which gave me a little opportunity to catch him. But I felt like I had a really good chase. I don't know if I could have done it any better, but here we are, 4th place. So without further ado, let's jump on into the tuning. All right, guys, so I want to jump into the tuning on the Horizon GT4. This thing is an absolute blast, and the body kit on this that I have is the R&T kit. There's a ton of kits for this thing. Obviously, you can see stock there. We got Slide, which looks really nice. Missile, which is just absolutely over the top. CBW, which is more of like a ground effects smooth body kit. R&T, which is the one I have. And then they have D-Master, which also looks kind of cool. And ProFlow, which is a super wide, kind of a drift boy setup, but I don't know, the R&T just does it for me. So got the R&T, obviously did some wheels, spoiler, all that kind of stuff. But we'll jump into the tuning details here. So when I go to tuning, you'll see I have it upgraded to Pro Drift 3. Engine-wise, we do have the 3.8 liter V6 twin turbo in it. This tune should work pretty well with the stock motor as well. You just might have to make some adjustments to the transmission tuning, basically. So we'll jump into the settings, BrogAutohaus. This will be in the tuning workshop under BrogAutohaus. And we'll jump to Kami Road for a tuning location. So here's the tune on this thing. Front suspension, we're at 14 centimeters, 71 Newton meters of torque, or of spring stiffness. No front sway bar at all. 0.1 on the positive wheel toe, -4 camber, 11 caster, and 80% Ackerman angle. That Ackerman angle is a little higher than I typically run, but gosh, it works really, really well on this car. 65 degrees of wheel divergence angle. We got the bumps and rebounds. It looks like the rebounds are fully maxed out. I can't remember if I adjusted those or if that's how they come stock, but something to keep in mind. Rear suspension, you can see my rebounds and bumps here. Obviously, feel free to pause the video at any time if you want to make any adjustments. -3 on the rear wheel camber, which is more than I typically run. I typically run more like -1, but for some reason on this one, it's -3, and I really like how it feels. Positive 0.1 of rear wheel toe, and just barely rear sway bar. 8 is about as low as you can go, probably. Spring stiffness is at 59, and we're at 13 centimeters in the rear. So the front wheels, we have 19-inch 305s with a 30% profile. We're running a square setup on this, so we have 19 305s in the rear as well with 30% also. The engine is fully maxed out. This is the V6 twin turbo, which comes out of the Nissan GTR, the R35, the next gen. But it works really, really well in this car. My diff, I'm running at only a 0.42. Now, if you want the car to be a little faster and drift, you could increase that number up to, 0.5, 0.6. I wouldn't go much above like a 0.65 for drivability reasons. The gear ratio is at a 3.7 overall. And I've made some adjustments to third, fourth, and fifth gear. It seems like a big gap from third to fourth, being a 170 to a 1.18. But this thing handles it really well. And then a 1.08 fifth gear. Gear shifting delay all the way down as far as you can go. Nobody wants any delay when they're shifting. That does not help you. Braking is shared 77% to the front at 4640 Newton meters on the braking momentum. And then no axis width or anything. We got 1350 kilograms of mass and 26% on the center of mass height. So we'll jump on out to the track. Thing sounds fantastic. And then we'll give it a little shot here. So I really like this. Thing's pretty snappy. And when you need it to really grip in the corners, it does, just like that. When I whipped it in, I was able to hold it off the rail there. And then the transitions, it really flicks to angle and stays there. So I know I was kind of riding limiter there and fourth, but this thing is just really fun to drive. It's a great car, and even without the engine swap, it was really great before. It's definitely one of my favorite cars on this tier. And if you don't have it already, I highly suggest you shoot for it. Save up your money, buy the R34, and whip it around, man. This thing is an absolute blast. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, don't forget to put your life in drive, and we will see you next time.